Andrew Warren for Showtime Movie News at Comic-Con in San Diego. Before it became a mecca for pop culture, Comic-Con began as a gathering of comic book fans. So you can imagine that the Batman franchise has a long and rich history here. In fact, for the send-off of the most recent trilogy with The Dark Knight Rises, they brought in Batmobiles from all of the previous films. But Batman was not the only franchise that came to Comic-Con this year to bid farewell. For the final time, fans of the Twilight franchise camped out for days to send their beloved series off into the sunset.
6,000 people sitting around, like, camping for a week. It's just like, really? Like, even this is the same after this, the fifth movie, and it's the same every time? It's crazy.
So beautiful. We're in the same temperature now.
We're done, the story's out. It's like I look back on it and go, I wish I could do more. And at the same time, I like to indulge my mind in the memory.
Here last year with Tintin, Peter Jackson came to deliver Comic-Con a glimpse of his return to Middle-earth with The Hobbit.
I'm glad we didn't do it straight after Lord of the Rings. I'm glad it's taken us 10 years because it's allowed me to have a bit of perspective on the whole thing. But stepping back into Middle-earth has been an absolute joy.
My dear Frodo, you asked me once if I had told you everything there was to know about my adventures. Well, I can honestly say I have told you the truth. I may not have told you all of it.
Bilbo Baggins. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
I don't want to be a good man. I want to be a great one.
Former Spider-Man director Sam Raimi returns to big-budget filmmaking with Oz the Great and Powerful, a prequel based on the L. Frank Baum novels that details the origins of the circus magician who became the mighty Oz.
Most of it was not from Baum, though most of it was from Mitchell Kapner's imagination. So what I wanted to do in making the movie was tell this great story that I experienced when I was reading the screenplay. And what that screenplay did for me was it took me on an adventure, it was a buddy story, and most importantly, it told the story of a selfish man who learned to become a little more selfless. And that was an uplifting experience for me. That's how I felt when I finished reading it. And I thought, this is a movie I really want to make.
Am I dreaming?
You're in Oz.
Mila Kunis and Michelle Williams play two of the three witches, with Michelle as the good witch, Glenda.
You're in your magnificent costume and you walk into your magnificent kingdom and you find that you're standing on top of the yellow brick road. I pinched myself a lot.
Oh, well, I've been coming to Comic-Con since the 80s, so it's nice to be on this side of the table.
Quentin Tarantino created a small Django town set for his much-anticipated Django Unchained, a western set in the slavery days about a black cowboy who came to settle scores.
They caught my wife and they sold her, but I don't know who to. That means we visit every plantation until we find him.
He's a cinematic genius, but he's also an interesting artist director, meaning that when he would come to the set, and if he was shooting Django that day, he would be Django. If he was shooting Candy, he would be Candy, which is Leo's character. So it was interesting to watch him working.
Yes! 28 years after his first stop-motion short film, Tim Burton was back with a feature film version of Frankenweenie.
When you lose someone you love, they never really leave you. They just move into a special place in your heart. If we could bring them back, we would.
Over the years, there were other characters, other kids, other monsters, weird teachers, you know, that I kind of wanted to explore that. So it was important that it didn't feel like a short that was padded. It was important that it tried to work as a new film.
And John C. Reilly, here to tease his new animated film Wreck-It Ralph, wins the prize for the weirdest fan experience.
This guy came up, he's like, will you sign my arm? Will you sign my arm with this marker? And I was like, okay. And he's like, I sign it, and he's like, I'm gonna go right now and have this tattooed onto my arm where you signed it. I was like, wait. Because I signed it really sloppy. You could barely, you couldn't cash a check with that signature.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm gonna wreck it!
30 years I've been doing this. It starts to feel hard to love your job.
I can fix it!
When no one else seems to like you for doing it. I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
From Comic-Con, I'm Andrew Warren for Showtime Movie News. I'll see you next time.